الحمد لله. الحمد لله يضعف ما حمده جميع خلقه كما يحبه ويرضاه. اللهم صل على محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وسلم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. ربنا يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين يا فتاح. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. قال فما بال القرون الأولى قال علمها عند ربي في كتاب لا يضل ربي ولا ينسى. الذي جعل لكم الأرض مهدا وسلك لكم فيها سبلا وأنزل من السماء فأخرجنا به أزواجا من نبات شتى. كلوا وارعوا أنعامكم إن في ذلك لآيات لأولي النهى. منها خلقناكم وفيها نعيدكم ومنها نخرجكم تارة أخرى. ولقد أريناه آياتنا كلها فكذب وأبى. قال أجئتنا لتخرجنا من أرضنا بسحرك يا موسى فلنأتينك بسحر مثله فاجعل بيننا وبينك موعدا لا نخلفه نحن ولا أنت مكانا سوى. قال موعدكم يوم الزينة وأن يحشر الناس ضحى. فتولى فرعون فجمع كيده ثم أتى. قال لهم موسى ويلكم لا تفتروا على الله كذبا فيسحتكم بعذاب وقد خاب من افترى. فتنازعوا أمرهم بينهم وأسروا النجوى. قالوا إن هذان لساحران يريدان أن يخرجاكم من أرضكم بسحرهما ويذهبا بطريقتكم المثلى. فأجمعوا كيدكم ثم أتوا صفا. وقد أفلح اليوم من استعلى. قالوا يا موسى إما أن تلقي وإما أن نكون أول من ألقى. قال بل ألقوا فإذا حبالهم وعصيهم يخيل إليه من سحرهم أنها تسعى. فأوجس في نفسه خيفة موسى. قلنا لا تخف إنك أنت الأعلى وألق ما في يمينك تلقف ما صنعوا إنما صنعوا كيد ساحر ولا يفلح الساحر حيث أتى. فألقي السحرة سجدا وقالوا آمنا برب هارون وموسى. First of all, we give all praise and all thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. for all the favors and bounties Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has bestowed on us. And we send salat and salam on his last and final messenger, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. As we continue with the tafsir of Surah Tahaa, currently of verse 51, Allah says, قَالَ فَمَا بَالُ الْقُرُونِ الْأُولَى. He said, which is a statement of Fir'aun. So Fir'aun is saying to Musa, what about the first generations? So we're currently discussing the story of Musa alayhi salam and Fir'aun. We saw that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had commanded Musa alayhi salam to go to Fir'aun. He wanted assistance, he got his brother. So both him and his brother now, they have reached the palace, ready to start their mission of giving dawah to Fir'aun. They sought permission to enter. We dealt with that last week. And then as they got the permission to enter, Musa alayhi salam given the da'wah to Fir'aun. The first thing that he said to him was, Inna Rasula Rabbika. We are both me and my brother. So Musa alayhi salam, he is the orator, he's the speaker, he's the one that's delivering the message to Fir'aun. He says, the two of us here, me and my brother, both of them are Nabis, both of them are prophets. And my brother, we have been sent, Rasulan Rabbika. We are Rasuls from our Lord. So Allah has chosen the two of us and has sent us here as messenger from your Lord. فَأَرْسِلْ مَعَنَا بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ وَلَا تُعَذِّبْهُمْ. And we're asking you, the command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to you is أَرْسِلْ مَعَنَا بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ. Send Bani Israel with us. وَلَا تُعَذِّبْهُمْ. And do not punish them. So send Bani Israel, because at the moment he had imprisoned the Bani Israel. They were all considered to be his slaves under his captivity, and they were all working for him. So the command is that you need to let go of all your slaves, because the slaves was Bani Israel. The Egyptians were considered to be his army, and those of higher class, those were considered to be the free people. And all of Bani Israel. And Bani Israel, as we know, came down from Yusuf alayhi salam, from Sims Yaqub. But Yusuf alayhi salam was the one that went to Egypt. And as he went to Egypt, and after the droughts, what he explained in his dream, and he took over, his progeny was the Bani Israel there. But after he passed away, Pharaoh and the Egyptians, they wanted back power. They did not want some outsider to remain in power. And this is why as soon as he passed away, they took over back leadership of Egypt, because he's not there again. They did not want to give any of his children and his progeny. And they enslaved all of his progenies. So all of Bani Israel were slaves. So Allah has commanded them to free them. Free the Bani Israel. وَلَا تُعَذِّبْهُمْ. Do not punish them. Certainly we have brought signs from your Lord, and peace be unto those who follow guidance. Certainly it has been revealed to us that the adhab and punishment of Allah is only for those who disbelieve and those who turn away. So this was their message to Pharaoh. When Pharaoh heard that, his response, so this was between Pharaoh and Musa and Harun. So they got the first chance to speak because they have been bringing a message to him. So he listened to their message, and then he said to them, فَمَنْ رَبُّكَ مَا يَا Musa. Musa, tell me, who is your Lord? Who is you and your brother's Lord? Who is this Lord that you have besides me? Because he was claiming to be Lord. He was claiming to be God. So which other God now do you have? Tell me, who is your God? They did not say Allah. Listen to the response of Musa alayhi salam. He says, رَبُّنَا الَّذِي أَعْطَى كُلَّ شَيْءٍ خَلْقَهُ ثُمَّ هَدَى. Musa alayhi salam said that our Lord is that one who gives everything its form. He creates everything, gives it its shape, its form, ثُمَّ هَدَى, and then he guides it to what it has to do. And this is not only for human being, but across the board, every single creation. Everything that Allah has created. Allah is the one that has fashioned it. So the mountains just didn't come up just like that. The mountains were fashioned by Allah and placed there. Allah guided it to be there for a specific purpose. The sun was fashioned by Allah. The sky was fashioned by Allah. Every single tree. And all the animals. We see all the animals, they're different. All animals are different. Allah has shaped each one, and Allah has guided each one as to what you have to do. What is your duty as an animal? And not only the animals, but also human beings, the same thing. So we're not talking, when we're talking about hidayah here, so listen what he says, رَبُّنَا الَّذِي كُلَّ شَيْءٍ خَلْقَهُ. Our Lord is that one who has given everything its khalq, its shape, its form, its creation. ثُمَّ hada. Then he guides it. But the hada here, he's not talking about the hidayah of Islam. He's not talking about the guidance with regards to worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's not talking about that guidance. He's talking about general. Because every single human being has been guided naturally. We've been guided to be human beings. We were not created as human beings and then left to behave like animals. Allah has guided us as human beings to be human beings. So just as how animals will eat with their mouth, they push their mouth down and they will eat. There's no human being that Allah created and he thinks to himself, you know what, I have to put my mouth down and eat. No human being. Every human being knows that, you know what, I have to take my hands and I have to eat like that. And if you know this is only human beings eat like that, using their hands. All other animals, they just use their mouth and they eat. But that is the guidance. So every single human being have a certain amount of guidance. But then there's the other type of guidance, which brings you success in the next life. And that is the guidance of accepting Allah and worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So now what Fir'aun is asking him, فَمَا بَالُ الْقُرُونِ الْأُولَى? Fir'aun is asking him, what about the previous generation? So he is talking about the previous generation that did not get the hidayah of deen or of religion. Whereas Musa alayhi salam, he made it general. He talked about natural hidayah that every single one has. So Fir'aun is saying, tell me about those people who are not in your time. Those people who are not in your time. Those people who died before you came with this message that you have brought. Those people who might have died last year, you're coming to me now with this message. Tell me what happened to those people who died last year and they did not get to hear your message. What is their position? You want me to accept this message? I want to know what is their position. They didn't hear this message that you're bringing. They were believing in me as God. Now you're telling me that you have a different God, a supreme God. But that supreme God didn't guide these people who last year died or the year before died. What happened to them? So this is the question that Fir'aun had placed to Musa. فَمَا بَالُ الْقُرُونِ الْأُولَى? What happened to these people? Are they going to get Jannah? Are they going to get paradise? Are they considered to be believers? Are they considered to be unbelievers? Are they going to be thrown into that adab that you're talking about, that punishment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Musa alayhi salam's response in verse 52. Musa alayhi salam, he says, Qala ilmuha inda rabbi fi kitabin, la yadillu rabbi wa la yansa. He said, knowledge thereof is with my Lord in a book. My Lord never errs, nor does he forget. So Musa alayhi salam, when he's speaking from revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah is guiding his tongue to speak the correct thing. He did not say that they're all going to get Jannah because they didn't get a message. He did not say that they are going to go into the fire of Jahannam. Because any one of those he had mentioned, if he had said they are going to Jannah or they are going to Jahannam, then Pharaoh would have torn it against him. So he said it in a very, very wise manner. He says, Ilmuha inda Rabbi. The knowledge of it is with my Lord. My Lord knows exactly what is going to happen to them. I don't know. I'm only a messenger. I don't have the knowledge to know who go into Jannah, who go into Jahannam. That is for my Lord. My Lord knows that. Ilmuha inda Rabbi fi kitab. So the knowledge of it with regard to the previous generation, that is with my Lord fi kitabin. And it is documented. Fi kitabin, it is in a book. As we all know, every single human being there, we have the angels. The angel on the right, the angel on the left. The angel on the right write all the good things. The angel on the left write all the evil. And as soon as you are born, those angels are there. And the only time they leave you is when the angel of death comes and take out your soul. So everything that they were documenting, everything is in a book. And that book has been preserved, waiting there to be delivered back to you. So the angels had it, writing it. And then as you return back to Allah on the day of judgment, you're going to get your book and it is going to be placed in your hands. So he says, Ilmuha inda Rabbi. The knowledge of it is with my Lord fi kitabin, in a book. So Allah has been documenting it. And it tells us that there are certain things you leave for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You don't try to get too much in it. You know, sometimes we like to get details. You want to know the color, you want to know size, you want to know everything. Certain times or certain things, you just leave it and just leave it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Says that is in the knowledge of Allah. And we dealt with that at the beginning when we talk about the arsh of Allah. When Allah speaks about his arsh, Allah speaks about his hands. These are things only Allah knows. Allah speaks about his kursi. Don't think of how big is the kursi and what is the kursi made of. Those details is not for us. Allah has not given it to us, and we just say Allah knows best. And this is what indirectly, this is what he's saying. Allah knows best. Ilmuha inda Rabbi. The knowledge of it is with my Lord, which means my Lord knows about that. I don't know about it. And my Lord, fi kitab, it is in a kitab, it is in a book. Wa huwa fi lawhil mahfuz, which is in lawhil mahfuz. And it is going to be returned. La yadillu Rabbi wa la yansa. My Lord never errs. La yadillu Rabbi wa la yansa. My Lord never forgets. So there's no mistakes. There's no error in the documentation of what was documented in your books. Wala yansa, and Allah does not forget. So Allah knows every single human being from since the time of Adam alayhi salam, every single one. Even though there are billions and billions of people that were there before, Allah knows every single one of them. La yansa. And not only does Allah knows them, but Allah knows their entire life that they live. Whilst our time is so short, they live for hundreds of years. Allah knows every single day of each and every one of them, their lives. So Allah lions, Allah doesn't forget. The thing is with us, we are very forgetful. And sometimes because we are forgetful, we feel everyone is forgetful. But it's in our nature to forget. Insan. The word insan comes from the word nasya, which means to forget. And this is why Adam alayhi salam, it says, Adam alayhi salam forgot the orders of Allah and he erred. He approached the tree that he was not supposed to approach because of forgetfulness. So mankind is forgetful. Every single human being, as long as you're a human being, you will forget. You will forget something. If I were to ask anyone what you did last week, Tuesday, every single thing that you did last week, Tuesday, from the morning until the evening, we can't remember. If there were one or two major events, we might click. You know what? I went out there. But to try to remember every single thing that you do, single thing that you say for a whole day, everything that you heard for that entire day, you can't remember. Most of us, we can't even do that for yesterday. Can't remember every single thing that we say yesterday. We forget. We can't remember every single thing that we heard somebody say yesterday. We forget. But Allah is not like that. Not because we are forgetful means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is forgetful. Allah la yansa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not forgetful. Allah remembers. Allah knows everyone. And Allah is going to reward everyone for whatever action. Now, one of the scholars in the past was asked the same question. What if a prophet did not come to a people? A prophet didn't come to a people, so they didn't get the message. And they lived their entire life and they died without Iman. But no prophet came to them. No book was given to them. Are they going to be from amongst those who goes to Jahannam, or are they going to be from amongst the Jannatis? And the answer that was given is that even though no prophet came to a people, even though no book came to a people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's signs are so much to prove of his existence that it is upon them to use Allah's sign to find their own guidance, even without a prophet and without a book. So to know that the sky is there, the ocean is there, these are signs of Allah's existence. And Allah has given each and every human being that intelligence to know that a rock cannot create anything. That the sun up there cannot create anything. So even without a book, even without a prophet coming to them, they should still believe in Allah. Now, if they were to believe that, you know what, there's a creator there, and I believe in the creator, not idols. I believe in the creator, nothing that was created. I don't believe that the God is anything created. I believe that the God is the one that created everything. If they believe like that, and they did not do any good deeds, as is because there is no Sharia for them. There's no salat, there's nothing, no type of prayers, but they just have that belief and they did not commit shirk, then they're going to get Jannah. They're going to have paradise. But if no prophet came to them, no book was given to them, and they did not use their intellect and they would just follow traditions and customs of the people before them, and they continue to worship idols, they are going to, and they die in the state of kufr like that, they are to be thrown in the fire of Jahannam. Because Allah has given human beings and intellect so that you could think for yourself. So even though no prophet, no book, still could think for yourself to be saved from the adab of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he says, La yadillu Rabbi wa la yansa. And then he explains who is this Allah in verse 53. It says, Alladhi ja'ala lakum al-arda mahda. He is that one who made the earth a habitat for you. وَسَلَكَ لَكُمْ فِيهَا سُبُلًا, and traced in routes for you. وَأَنزَلَ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً, and he sent down water from the sky. فَأَخْرَجْنَا بِهِ أَزْوَاجًا مِّن نَبَاتٍ شَتَّى, with which we produce pairs of diverse plants. So here he says, Alladhi ja'ala lakum al-arda mahda. Allah is the one who has made the earth habitat for you. The word mahda is also known as a bed. He has made the earth as a bed. In another part of the Quran, Allah used the word bisata. Bisata, which means a carpet. So Allah is using these words to tell you that He has made it, even though we know the earth is not flat. The earth is not flat, but yet our living space is flat so that we could walk. It does not change, it does not turn so that we fall on. It remains one way. So even though the shape of the earth itself will be wrong, yet where we are walking, where we have our livelihood, Allah has made it flat. And this is why Allah uses these terms: bed, Allah uses bisata, which is carpet. Allah uses all these type of things that you understand, you know about. You know, because you are accustomed using these things. So Allah says, وَجَعَلَ لَكُمُ الْأَرْضَ مَهْدًا تَقُومُونَ وَتَنَامُونَ عَلَيْهَا. Allah has made the earth in such a way that you're able to stand up without falling up. It does not make it shake. We know when an earthquake occurs and the earth just shake a little bit, everything falls. You can't stand up properly. You end up falling over. But Allah has made the earth in such a way that we are able to live on it, stand up, sit however we want. Watanamuna, Allah has made it that you're able to sleep. Watasafaruna ala dhahriha. Allah has allowed you to travel on its back. Allah allows you to travel on the earth, so you could move from one place to the next. And by Allah doing that, وَسَلَكَ لَكُمْ فِيهَا سُبُلًا. Allah says He has tracing routes for you. Allah has made open for you roads, ways, pathways. So Allah has granted you places that you're able to move through, to find your way. وَأَنزَلَ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً, and Allah has sent down water from the sky. So Allah وَأَنزَلَ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً, Allah has sent down water from the sky. And the rain is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, too much could be an adab, because Allah also uses that as a form of adab and punishment, like He did with Prophet Nuh alayhi salam. And even in our time, sometimes too much rain caused a lot of damage and a lot of flooding. But rain by itself is a blessing from Allah, because we all need water. And it is through the rain that we actually get that sweet water that we're able to drink, because the sea is filled with only salt water. So with the rain falling, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you drinkable water that you are able to use it to cook. You're able to use it to drink, to nourish yourself, even for your plants, for your animals. So Allah says, وَأَنزَلَ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً فَأَخْرَجْنَا بِهِ أَزْوَاجًا مِّن نَبَاتٍ شَتَّى. And then Allah says, with which we produce pairs of diverse plants. So Allah has given you so many different types of plants. And I think it's in Surah Nahal, which we talk a lot about the vegetations and the plants which Allah has given to us. The rain falls, irrigates the earth, and then trees grow. But it's so amazing that not only one type of tree grows. Allah has filled the world with so many different species of trees for us. And that is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, min nabatin shatta, Allah says different types of trees. Imagine living in a world that you only have one type of tree. No, we have mango season and you have too much of mango, you have to sort of give away. There's so much of one thing. Imagine if there was only one species of tree and you had to survive on that only, and you had to eat that every single day because that is the only tree. Allah did not do that. Allah has given us a variety of fruits, a variety of vegetables, and all of that is favors from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah is telling you that فَأَخْرَجْنَا بِهِ أَزْوَاجًا مِن نَبَاتٍ شَتَّى. You produce pairs of diverse plants. You have different types of plants Allah has given to you. So all of this, what Musa alayhi salam is letting Pharaoh know of Allah's favors. All of these are signs to show the existence of Allah. Because every single thing that is mentioned here, Pharaoh, who is claiming to be God, he can't do any of those. None of those he could do. He has no control over any of them. Pharaoh did not create the earth. So he is telling Pharaoh, you see that God that I just told you about? That God, جَعَلَ لَكُمُ الْأَرْضَ مَهْدًا. He is the one that spread out the earth for us. It is him that made this earth so that we could walk on. You didn't create anything. You came and saw the earth like this. وَسَلَكَ لَكُمْ فِيهَا سُبُلًا. He has made roads. When you came, it already had roads. Even if you were to put in some new ones, it is Allah. When you came, it already had pathways and roads to move around. وَأَنزَلَ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً. That God that I'm talking about, he's the one that sends the rain. And again, Pharaoh, he has no power of bringing the rain. The rain falls when the rain ready to fall. No human being have any control to say, no, tomorrow I want that rain to fall 10 o'clock and I'm making it fall 10 o'clock. No human being has that power. Not even Pharaoh. So indirectly, he's proven to Pharaoh that you are no God. The real God is the God that has sent me and my brother to invite you to this message. In the next verse 54, he says, "Kulu war'aw an'amakum inna fi dhalika la'ayatin li'ulil nuha." It says, eat and pasture your livestock. In that are signs for those with understanding. So he says to Pharaoh, "Kulu war'aw an'amakum." All these things that Allah has created, all these vegetations and granting, sending down the rain. Says Allah has sent all of this kulu war'aw an'amakum for us to eat. Allah has sent it down for our benefits. Allah has created the earth for our benefits. So kulu war'aw an'amakum, and pasture your livestock, which means also you give water to your animals. The animals also graze using the grass that Allah has created. And then he says, Inna fi dhalika la'ayatin li'ulil nuha. Says, in that are signs for those with understanding. Inna fi dhalika la'ayatin li'ulil nuha. And again, this is why we say, if there's no prophet, as long as you have intelligence, and Allah has given every single human being intelligence, Allah has given us that ability to differentiate from the right and wrong. Every human being knows that this is right. Every human being knows that this is wrong. There are certain things that is just naturally that you know. So since look at these things, and if you are from amongst those with understanding, you will understand that you are not God and Allah is the God. And the next ayat, which is verse number 55, says, Minha khalaqnakum wa fiha nu'idukum wa minha nukhrijukum taratan ukhra. Which is a ayat we hear a lot. So this was the last ayat that is the last of his speech to Pharaoh. So he concluded his session to Pharaoh by saying to Pharaoh, Minha khalaqnakum, from it we have created you. That is, from it Allah has created. The same Allah, Minha khalaqnakum. That is the earth. From it Allah has created you. Allah has created you from the earth. Now we know the earth where it has been attributed to our creation because Allah used it to create Adam alayhi salam. But only Adam alayhi salam was created from earth. We know that only Adam alayhi salam, Allah fashioned the clay and created Adam alayhi salam. Allah did not create Adam alayhi salam's wife from clay. He created Adam alayhi salam's wife from the ribs of Adam alayhi salam. And then the two of them got their children the manners how the process continues. But Allah keep on saying that man was created from clay. And Allah is doing that for us to recall where we came from. We came from Adam alayhi salam, our father. So even though our creation, the process might be different from Adam alayhi salam, there's still some sort of remnants of the clay in us. So we know we have skin, but if after a period of time, if you scrape your hands, there's certain kind of I don't know what you call it in Trinidad. Muck, all right, good. You scrape what you get muck. And if you put that muck and that clay together, right, it's not going to be identical, but it's substance, a similar substance, even though we were not actually created from clay. We came from our mother and father created us, but still there's some remnant because it traces back till to Adam alayhi salam. So there's still some of that. So minha khalaqnakum, from the earth we were created, mankind were created. Wa fiha nu'idukum, and in it nu'idukum, in it we will return you. In it we're going to return you. So as we die, we are returned back to the clay. And when we enter into our graves, what happened? The earth takes us back. If after a period of time you dig up that grave, all you're going to see is the bones. You're not going to see the skin. You're not going to see anything again. And it just blends into the earth. At the beginning, it will start to have a certain stench. But after a period of time, as you dig up that same spot, you don't smell anything again. Everything is normal. You don't even know that. It's only when you hit a bone, hey, somebody was buried here. But everything come back as normal. Because it is that earth which we are created from. So when we return back there, what is the bone? And even the bone, after many years, even the bone will start to turn into dust as well. So وَفِيهَا نُعِيدُكُمْ وَمِنْهَا نُخْرِجُكُمْ تَارَةً أُخْرَى, and from it we will bring you out another time. That is, when the trumpet is blown, we'll all be resurrected. وَأَخْرَجَتِ الْأَرْضُ أَثْقَالَهَا, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, when the earth is going to spit up its burden. It's going to throw up its burden. So that is when we're going to come out from the earth. So it is an ayah to keep us humble as well. So sometimes we live on this earth and we start to feel as if we are better. As if we are high, we are on the clouds, we are walking on clouds, we're not walking on the earth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, Minha khalaqnakum. This is what you are created from. Even though we know that we are the best of creation. Allah says, لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ. So we're not just as the earth. Allah has shaped us and made us into the best of creation. But yet Allah advises, Allah says, وَلَا تَمْشِي فِي الْأَرْضِ مَرَحًا. Do not walk on the earth boastfully and arrogant. Do not walk on the earth boastfully or arrogantly. But rather, when you walk on the earth, you should walk on the earth with humility. وَعِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنِ الَّذِينَ يَمْشُونَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ هَوْنًا. In Surah Furqan, it says, the true servants of Allah are those when they walk on the earth, they walk with humility. Because why? They walk with humility. Because they know the same earth that I'm walking on, this is the earth that I was created from. This is the earth we are created from. وَفِيهَا نُعِيدُكُمْ. They know, the true servants of Allah, they know as they die, that is where they're going. Right inside there. Leave a mark every single thing in the dunya. Every single thing. Sometimes you see so much of fight down. You want this, you want that. But as you close your eyes, that is it. Which? This? Yeah. All human beings. Good. So, وَفِيهَا نُعِيدُكُمْ, the Imam is asking about cremation. Right? So, as you're born, we know you're not allowed to born the dead. But as you're born the deceased, many a times, what they do with the ashes? They throw the ashes. Most of the time, they don't keep the ashes for long. They take it and they throw it different places. And as that spread, that still goes back to the earth. So it end up going back to the earth. So it will still be for everyone. So وَفِيهَا نُعِيدُكُمْ. So whilst we say فِيهَا نُعِيدُكُمْ will be regarding burial, right? Those who go against the Sharia and they do the cremation and they get the ashes and they spread it, after a point of time, you don't see the ashes again. Where the ashes go? Ashes going back to the earth still. So وَفِيهَا نُعِيدُكُمْ. So it's for both Muslims as well as non-Muslims. So وَعِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنِ الَّذِينَ يَمْشُونَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ هَوْنًا, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, they walk on the earth humble, because وَفِيهَا نُعِيدُكُمْ وَمِنْهَا نُخْرِجُكُمْ تَارَةً أُخْرَى. And from it, we are all going to be resurrected. So we're all go out. And I was saying, a lot of times people, they fight on for so much things in the dunya. Fight on for a big job, they want this, they want that. And as soon as you close your eyes, you have nothing again. You have nothing again. So what you were fighting for yesterday, when you close your eyes, that there, and you see it every single time somebody that you see that. It is a sad thing that we want house, we want this, we want that. And yes, we're in this life, we want some comfort. But when you use your life only for these material things, and you don't balance it off, because we are not told that we should live in this world and punish and don't get no form of comfort in this world. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً. Our Lord grant us the goodness of this world, so we want some comfort in this life as well. But what happens sometimes, you run after the dunya and we forget about Allah, forget about our true purpose. And then when we die, we have nothing. Nothing. Because as you die, all material things are going to leave back here. The car that you are fighting up for, when you die, where is that car? That car is not going back in that grave with you. The house, you die, you close your eyes, everybody fighting up to bury you. Your house still standing there. That is going to remain there. And even sometimes your job, you have a job and you're fighting and you're saying, you know what, this is my business, I have to do this. But as soon as you close your eyes, somebody else take over your job. Somebody. Yes, somebody takes over your job. Sometimes you're losing sleep. You're missing out time with your family, saying that my job come first, my job come first. And then as you die, you close your eyes. The next day, they already replace you with somebody else. And the business still going. If you're teaching the school don't close down because you die. The business don't close down because you die. No, everything's still running. Somebody else take your spot. You go on. Every now and then they'll remember you in a dua, and that is all. So it tells us, Wafi, it brings about a sort of humbleness. There's one ayat that we should keep remembering. Minha khalaqnakum wa fiha nu'idukum wa minha nukhrijukum taratan ukhra. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, whenever they would bury someone, they would recite the same ayat. They would take the first part and they throw it and they say minha khalaqnakum. The second, you throw it, wa fiha nu'idukum, and the third, wa minha nukhrijukum taratan ukhra. And there's reasons for doing that. When you're doing that, it is a form of remembrance of yourself. The Prophet ﷺ would let them do that, the companions do that, so that this death becomes a reminder for them. So when they are throwing minha khalaqnakum, they should reflect that this is what Allah has created me from as well. Wa fiha nu'idukum, and in it we will return you. That is, one day I have to return there as well. Wa minha nukhrijukum taratan ukhra, and from it all will be resurrected. Now this is an ayah that is being given to Pharaoh, Musa alayhi salam. All of this Musa alayhi salam is telling Pharaoh. Now Musa alayhi salam, we know Pharaoh, he claims to be God, but he knows he can't live forever. He knows that there's no human being that lives forever, because everybody has to die. And one quality of a God is that a God cannot die. If you're a God, you cannot die because there's no replacement. You're the God. So if you are claiming that you're the God, then you should know that it is what you are created from. You're just a human being. And just as you're getting old every year and he's seeing changes, that every year he's getting older and older. It tells him that he's not God. The true God is the one that created us. The true God is the one that is going to take our souls, take our lives, cause us to die. And the true God is the one that could bring us back to life. And only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has that power. The next verse, verse 56, which is the last verse we're going to do tonight. Allah says, وَلَقَدْ أَرَيْنَاهُ آيَاتِنَا كُلَّهَا فَكَذَّبَ وَأَبَى. Allah says, we showed him our signs, all of them, but he denied and refused. So after all of this dialogue between them, between Pharaoh and Musa, after he says, Minha khalaqnakum wa fiha nu'idukum wa minha nukhrijukum taratan ukhra, still Pharaoh did not believe. So what Musa alayhi salam did was show him the miracles. You know that there were two miracles at that time. The two miracles that Allah had given him when he had granted him the nubuwwat. One was a staff, and he walked in with the staff. So he had the staff with him. So he threw around the staff, and the staff turned into the snake. Hayatun tas'a. So Pharaoh, he saw that. And the second was Musa alayhi salam. He put his hands under his arms and he pulled it out and his hands were glowing. Second miracle. Now, Pharaoh, he saw these two miracles, but he still did not accept. And one of the reasons for that is because in those days, that was a time where a lot of magic were practiced. There were a lot of magicians. So in his eyes, this is some sort of magic. When he saw the staff turn into a snake, he knew of other magicians who could do the same thing. When Musa alayhi salam pulled out his hands and it started to glow, he knew that this is some type of magic as well. So he did not accept it as an ayat from Allah, as a miracle, as something that he has never seen before, because of the amount of magic that was practiced during those times. Even he had his personal magicians with him. And when the magicians saw that, the magician advised him, you know what, this is magic that he's doing. We could do something similar to that. So when he heard that from his own personal magicians, he dismissed it as being any type of miracle, as being any type of amazing thing. And there we're going to see later down, we're going to see where he said to Musa alayhi salam, we could do similar to you. The same thing that you did there. I have other people, magicians as well, who are capable of doing the exact thing. So Allah says, وَلَقَدْ أَرَيْنَاهُ آيَاتِنَا كُلَّهَا. We have showed him our ayats, all of it. فَكَذَّبَ وَأَبَى. He denied, and وَأَبَى, he refused. So he denied and refused and did not accept. It also teaches us that sometimes you could show and you could talk to people because they were talking to him layyinan, as Allah commanded them, talk to him softly. And if we look at the speech of how they were giving him the dawah, it was a message of love, a message of kindness towards him, a message of an advice from one person to another. But be it how much you talk, whoever Allah does not guide is not going to be guided. Whoever Allah does not guide is not going to be guided. And even though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that, Allah knows that Pharaoh is not going to accept. Because Allah is Al-Alim, Allah knew everything. Allah knew before he even sent Musa there. Allah knew that. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is testing his prophets. And Allah is doing this so that he could show other generations as well that is coming. That look at Musa alayhi salam, how he approached Pharaoh, how he delivered a message to Pharaoh. Because many of these stories in the Quran, Allah would bring it back to comfort Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as him being the last and final messenger. And while he's going through hardship with the Quraysh and Abu Jahl and all of them, Allah will remind him of what Pharaoh went through, what Musa alayhi salam went through. And how hard he had it with a person like Pharaoh. And Pharaoh was plenty much harsher than anyone from amongst the Quraysh, because he would kill whoever he feels like to kill. No one of the Quraysh ever claimed to be God. No one of the Quraysh was ever as hard as how Pharaoh was. So Allah kept on letting the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam know, you know what? You have to go through this as well. This is part of your job. And as believers, we might have friends and families who are unbelievers. And in our hearts, we want them to be believers. We want them to accept the truth. And sometimes we talk and we talk and we talk, and yet Allah is not guiding them. Because again, whoever Allah guides, no one can misguide. And whoever Allah allows to go astray, no one can bring them back on the straight path. Be it if they are your relatives, be it if they are friends. But what we need to do is do the mission, the same mission. So we're going to see in our next class, we're going to continue with verse 57, where we're going to see the competition. They're going to have a competition with Musa alayhi salam and all the other magicians to see if really it's magic he was doing or if it is a miracle from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So next week, inshallah, we'll continue with verse 57. Oh yeah, we have our Khatam al-Quran dua on Friday. So we could also sign in. The link, inshallah, will be sent out on Friday, same time after Maghrib, inshallah. And the Imam also normally he'll be talking about Prophet Jesus alayhi salam for around a half an hour, and then we'll head into the dua, inshallah, Friday. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk, subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun, salamun ala al-mursalin, walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.